All right.
All right. What's going on, people?
First live show, guys. We are the Conscious Outlet Podcast, and this is our first live show. I'm so excited.
Me too.
Make sure you guys like and subscribe and share this with your friends if you think that they can benefit from what you're going to hear today, okay? We are going to get into it, okay? I know you see the thumbnail. I know you see the title. And this is something probably all of us can relate to, but did you know that social media is literally changing our brains? That's crazy to even think about, right?
It is.
I mean, come on. It's kind of like, how is social media changing the very fabric of our thoughts under this influence that we have right now? I mean, and how can we steer its impact for the better? That's the question we're going to be answering today. Okay? I'm your host, Miracle Monique.
And I'm Alan J.
And we're going to get into it.
All right.
Oh, we have a comment.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get in here.
Okay, we have a comment. That is my boy, Stanley. What's going on, Stanley? All the way from Mississippi.
Representing Mississippi.
Yes.
Alan's from Mississippi.
Just in case y'all didn't know.
Yes.
My accent is thicker than a cold bowl of grits. So, yeah.
Oh, goodness. Yes. I'm really excited about this series we're about to do. Okay, we're about to start a new series, right? And we don't know how long it's going to last. We're just going to do it until we think that it's done, right? Mm-hmm. So this new series is surrounding the concept of micro trends, okay? Micro trends. They're the trends within the trends, right? And they're based off of a book that Alan has actually been reading lately called Micro Trends. It was kind of the inspiration for this whole thing, right? So can you go a little deeper into what that really means?
Yeah. So what micro trends are patterns that actually go to basically makes a bigger impact. And so just in this time, just with social media, everybody got their little, groups and stuff like that. But I can give y'all a really quick example. So let's say, for instance, back then, the author of the book, Mark J. Penn, he actually was an advisor for the Clinton administration, and he actually basically helped him get re-elected based on the term that was coined soccer moms. So he knew that soccer moms were basically on the rise. And so he saw a simple micro trend, and then he decided to definitely help out Bill Clinton. And, that's how he ended up getting reelected, I want to say in 1997. So, yeah.
Oh, wow. So that was pretty much the inspiration for this kind of whole concept, huh?
Yes, because small things can actually create to bigger.
Exactly. And that's what we're going to be talking about today and really diving into, because that is so true. It's so true to the point where social media is literally changing our lives, all right? So we're actually going to get into our first video that I really want to show from the neuroscientist, Dr. Andrew Huberman. He's going to really deep dive into how social media is reshaping our brains, and I think we'll learn some interesting things from what he has to say.
Yeah. Just how triggering are our phones when it comes to dopamine?
Okay, great question. We often hear that, that social media getting dopamine hit after dopamine hit. When we first get on social media for the first time or after a long period of time, the amount of dopamine that's released, we think, is quite substantial. It's novel. Remember, dopamine is about novelty, surprise, and the sense that we are on some exciting track. That's what dopamine is really about. It puts us into states of readiness, anticipation, looking, seeking, etc., almost always for things outside the confines of our skin. Just to contrast it maybe for a bit more of a future discussion, serotonin does the opposite. When there's a lot of serotonin in our brain and body, typically it makes us feel satisfied, sated, and more quiescent, comfortable with what we have in our own immediate sphere and within us, right? The comfort of a good meal, the food you have. Dopamine is about go, go, go. If you look at somebody who's high on cocaine or methamphetamine, it's all about pursuit, because that's a very dopaminergic drug. You look at somebody who's taken a drug, and I'm not suggesting people do this, but it really ramps up serotonin. Let's say a selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor, Prozac, Zoloft, etc. The side effects of those drugs, if the dosages are too high, lack of appetite, lack of libido, kind of meh about life, then so they'll adjust the dose down. That's because those are serotonergic drugs. So in general,
Let's pause right here, actually. It's so interesting that so far he's compared social media to drug addicts.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, I think a lot of us are like little, like little crackheads to a certain degree. So
he said the word, it's a constant pursuit. Like the dopamine hit makes you want to constantly pursue something. It's that quick fix.
Exactly.
Like what drugs do. And it's the same idea with social media. It's so crazy because when I think about how, the concept of the continuous scroll, we're scrolling and scrolling and scrolling until we find the thing that basically helps us to have that dopamine hit, whether it's like a crazy video or something interesting or something that we want to learn or some kind of crazy TikTok video or whatever.
Exactly.
It's doing that same effect.
Exactly. So I'm gonna give you even like another example. So it's just like a person who start to smoke like cigarettes. Once you get that first hit of nicotine and you keep on chasing after that, first hit. Because I was told that it's nothing like your first hit of a cigarette, and so that's why people smoke so many packs, like up to 3 packs a day, because they're still chasing that nicotine, chasing that dopamine, that gratification or that same endorphin feeling, like, oh my goodness, it's like, it's almost like that first hit of hookah, because I know we got some hookah heads out here. So
don't do drugs, kids. And I'm still debating hookah is not a drug. Yeah. Okay, we're not gonna go there today. We're not gonna do that. Okay, okay. Not to say I do it a lot, but I'm just saying. But no, that is insane. And he was telling the difference of dopamine and serotonin, where dopamine is that quick fix hit, whereas serotonin is more of like the satisfaction feel of it. And it's insane because these social media algorithms are actually geared towards making us feel that dopamine hit instead of that satisfaction, because there's really no long-term studies to show that social media can carry on with our happiness. That it can lead to long-term happiness, because it actually doesn't. I mean, how empty do you feel after like scrolling for like 30 minutes to an hour on a platform and you realize how much time you wasted? I'm
gonna say this, even when definitely Stanley would definitely know about this. So just being even on Clubhouse, you're waiting to speak to some people, and then next thing you know, we didn't spend 4 hours on this platform because we were waiting to get recognized. You see, attractive people in there, and you trying to say certain things, and then it's a whole bunch of little, rooms on Clubhouse, and then, before you know it, 4 hours then went by, and you didn't missed out on your whole day. Like, dang, I really been,
That's wild. Do y'all remember Clubhouse? That's crazy.
Yeah.
That was really popular for like a whole year, and then it just kind of faded out of existence.
Yeah.
I was one of those people that were on Clubhouse. That was on Clubhouse.
Yeah, me too. I was doing the most.
But you see how distracting these things are?
Yeah.
Like, and the word talks about distractions. Like this, the scripture in Luke actually talks about distractions and how it can basically lead to the impact you're going to have on the kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Luke 9:62 says, but Jesus told him, anyone who puts a hand to the plow and then looks back is not fit for the kingdom of God.
That is.
If you get easily distracted, you can't be here.
Exactly. I mean,
basically.
But that's just with anything. If you get into a relationship, I mean, because of course, having a relationship with God, that is the whole thing basically. But that's just like even in our personal relationship, we want someone to pay attention to us. We want all of these things, and I just think that when it comes to just that scripture, you have to make sure that you are focusing on the right thing. So
yeah, absolutely. And that's why distractions are so dangerous. I mean, think about it. According to Smart Insights, 4.8 billion people around the world now use social media. 150 million new users have come online within the last 12 months. And then the average daily time spent using social media is 2 hours and 24 minutes. Do you know what you can do in 2 hours and 24 minutes? Do y'all have jobs? Do we have jobs?
That's
Because I
right.
caught myself doing the same thing.
That's why people, hiring people to do stuff at their house, like cut their grass and come and clean up their house when, they could have, they can do it themselves. So
You got a point there. It's just so wild.
Uber
because-
Eats, all of that.
Yes. It's just so wild because, the word says to make the most of our time and to number our days. So we're supposed to be intentional with these things and how we spend our time. But because of all the distractions within social media, carefully constructed distractions / algorithms,
Yes.
they are literally hindering us from living our lives. And it's creating this distortion in the world to where we're not even able to build meaningful relationships with each other anymore because we're so distracted. And then the distortion comes in. And an example of that distortion could be, people only post what they want you to see online. So they're
Yeah.
only going to post the good things, right?
True.
You're not going to post when you had a bad day, or you're not going to post when you just lost your job, or when you're $10,000 in debt, or when you no longer have a place to stay.
Unless you're an oversharer, because we know that we got people like that. So
We do, but they overshare the things that will give them a certain perception, and those perceptions are generally positive. Then again, there's also the people that want to be seen as victims, so they might post a lot of the things that, are the negative things about their life that kind of contribute to that. But that's probably a different subset of people. I don't really know how big that group of people is.
Exactly.
But
So, Miracle, you had said something earlier. Did you call it mindless scrolling or something like that?
the continuous scroll
Yeah.
concept. Yep.
Yeah,
That's
so
a thing.
Exactly.
That's
so
a thing.
what
That's
a lot
a
of people-
coined term.
Exactly. So what a lot of people may not know, they actually have psychologists and sociologists that actually work with, I would say, with the programmers, so they can actually mimic how basically. So where they can mimic how we actually do things, how we think, and so like they're crafting everything towards it. So like while you're scrolling, and it takes you so long to actually get that like oh man, I feel like I'm looking for something, but after a while you get that hit like okay, this is what I've been looking for, but you've been scrolling past ads, you've been scrolling past everything, and a lot of this stuff can lead to you actually being broke because you're spending money that you don't have because you're looking at people and saying, hey, I want those things. And so, I see it all the time. And even I've been actually guilty of it. I definitely bought something from someone, actually from this page. And I was like, man, I know I don't need to spend this money because I'm going over on my budget. But,
Yeah, exactly. And because of that distortion, because of that distortion that is out there because of social media, it's so easy to sell a lifestyle.
Yes.
And the products that go with that lifestyle. Like if they're following my algorithm and they see that I look at a lot of women that have locks, right? For example, I look at a lot of women that have locks, a lot of beautiful locks, colorful locks that I kind of want to, imitate one day, right? So I'll get a lot of ads that are geared towards those things, whether it's the products or accessories or even just looking at more women who have locks. And it's pushing towards that lifestyle, and it's actually creating an even bigger distortion because it's kind of like making me think, man, is my hair good enough? Do I need to like add a little bit of this kind of tea tree oil here and there to kind of do what they're doing here? And it's not reality. Like I said, it goes back to that distortion. And it's so crazy because if everyone is on social media and this is happening with all of our brains collectively, what could this eventually look like in the world? And you actually said this in the car when we were on the way to the studio.
Remind me.
We talked about the micro trends within the trends, and the micro trend within social media. You said classism, which is so true. We're actually like putting ourselves there. We're actually putting ourselves in classes without consciously realizing it, because that validation that comes from the likes and the follows and stuff like that is pushing towards creating that gap between the ones that don't get attention and the ones that do. I mean, think of your highest paid TikToker versus someone who's just trying to share a photo of their dog on a Tuesday to their friends and family. That might get like 10 likes while the other one gets 10 million likes.
So we're doing this constant seesaw.
Yeah, it's the constant, like you said, it's that gap that's becoming really evident, and it's actually getting bigger and bigger, and we're actually putting ourselves there. And it's kind of like, what is the impact of that? What is the result of that we can see? And I thought about that Black Mirror episode, Nosedive.
That's my show.
Yeah, same. If you haven't seen Black Mirror, you're missing out big time. We just found out our producer, Josh, has not seen it and just recently saw it, and very disappointed, honestly. Yeah. But we're actually going to get into that first clip because I really want to show you guys kind of what this could look like in the world if we really embrace this system of classism that is conjoined with social media, and kind of what that looks like.
And that's one brushed swing. You want a cookie with that? It's on the house.
Sounds awesome. See you tomorrow, JJ.
See you, Lacey.
Sorry, but I miss the normal you. Before this obsession, when we had conversations, remember?
You need my charger.
This whole ranking thing, just comparing yourself to people who...
Have you seen my charger?
Only pretend to be happy. High fours like Naomi, I bet they're suicidal on the inside.
My car is here again.
Your Pelican Cove deposit, is it refundable? Like, what if this doesn't work?
Can't you just stay out of my shit?
You're my sister!
Yes, and if you cared about that, maybe you would have noticed living with you hasn't been one big rainbow sandwich for me. Do you know why I never brought any guys back here? Because I didn't want them to know I was sharing a skanky ass cave with Mr. 3 Point.
Good luck with your performance!
Yeah. I see y'all with the comments, so let's get into a few of those since we just saw the clip, okay?
Let's see.
Yes.
So we have a few.
Okay.
Okay, we have a few comments. Yikes.
We do have a few comments.
Let me go through them. Let me go through them. So Kenya McIntosh. It always goes back to the class and economics, in my opinion.
It definitely does.
Yes.
I completely agree with that. Everything really boils down to that.
Yeah, and I mean, that's what actually separates us a lot of times. And
yes,
to be honest, once we as a people realize that we are the value commodity, us as people, we will definitely realize that, that we the one that actually control everything. Think about it. Social media is actually not a real place. We create this place.
Yes, like the metaverse.
Yes.
Next level.
Exactly.
But yeah, you're right. It honestly all comes down to that, because at the end of the day, it's about the money. It's about what you can gain. It's about that greed aspect. And we all know what the word says about that. The love of money is the root of all evil. So what can come with that is not always a good thing. And so we can see that in this, I call it a simulation for the sake of the series, because, Black Mirror, for those who haven't seen the show, Black Mirror is kind of a play on the Twilight Zone series, if you know what that is. It explores alternate universes and different situations. But in this context of Black Mirror, it focuses on the technology aspect and how humans manipulate it to their advantage, and kind of what the impact, consequence, or result of that is. And it's not usually a good result that comes of that. And we see that especially in this particular episode of Nosedive, where in this universe, they all have they're all rated on a 5-point scale, and from 1 to 5, and you can immediately with this little contact that you have in your head, I think they call it, I forgot what they call it in the show, but they call it something. And with this contact they have in their eyes, they can see everyone's digital presence in an instant. They can also see your
Overstimulation.
score. They can yep, exactly. Yes. They can also see your social score. And with that, you can immediately see, I guess, in so many words, you can see how likable a person is in the social context of the people they interact with and stuff like that. And so it's a little scary to think about because we're kind of there in a way. It's just not concrete like it is in this show, where it's a practice that everyone does and it's a part of regular life. But we're really mirroring that right now, if you want to call it that, because I mean, I think about all the times that, you know, we've used social media as a way for validation. You know, how good does it feel to post a picture and you get 100 likes versus 1,000 likes? I
was just talking to America about this in the car. Like, I used to post stuff at a certain time, like, hey, last week I got 400 some likes. This week I only got, 75. I'm like,
what happened?
What's going on? Because I was, used to it. I'm used to the comments. And, and I would actually, do stuff for, some attention if we want to be real. If we want to keep it a book. I think that all of us definitely really get caught up into it.
Yes.
And, this is what the conscious outlet is definitely all about, is you being conscious of, where you are and who you are in this world or whatever. So
yeah, honestly, I had that issue lately. I don't know what it has been, but I've been so distracted lately, and it's really my own fault. I really do believe that distractions are your own fault because they're distractions. You pick your distractions. I've been choosing social media as my distraction because I've been finding myself just scrolling and scrolling when I'm trying to avoid work, or I'm trying to avoid, fulfilling a certain task, when I'm trying to procrastinate to a certain degree. And it's been wasting a lot of my time, and it has not been contributing to anything positive because it's only been making my brain feel like there's so much going on to where I can't calm it down. I can't even sleep well.
Trust
and
me.
Those are the times that I need to pray and meditate on the word, because that's not true. That is not true. You do not deal with it.
I'll be have to pray for people.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Sprinkle the holy water over there.
That is not true. I'm not that bad, first of all. I'm not that bad. But yeah, it gives you those high highs and those low lows, because I felt the same way as you when I would post a picture and be like, this got 68 likes.
Yeah.
I know I'm cuter than this. What's going on? Okay.
So I see a lot of my friends from college are definitely tuned in to Sean, Stanley.
Okay.
Let me make sure I don't miss anybody. But yeah.
Let's get into more comments. You want to get into more comments? Okay, cool. Want me to read it? Okay. Good point. You both pointed that social media is a distraction, is like an illusion. They will show you the world of how their life is so wonderful, but behind closed doors, it's not all truth. Thank you, Maxo P2. I like that name. But
I actually know that person, so yeah. Hey.
Okay. But yes, it's so true. It's a distraction, it's an illusion, it's all of that. And it really is to not only show you a distorted lifestyle, but to also sell it to you as if that's like a realistic goal. You know what I mean? Because people think that you can have all the positives in the world without the downfalls that come with it.
Preach.
It's it's the same thing with like quick thing. Same thing with like entrepreneurship or something. People want all the benefits that come with that, but they don't want to put the work in to actually understand what that means. It will not require just 8 hours of your day. That's called a job, not entrepreneurship. It's going to require a lot more of that. So people want the like I said, the benefits without the actual work that gets put into it. And I think a lot of that nowadays comes from the distorted view of what entrepreneurship looks like on social media, along with a lot of other things. relationships look amazing on social media.
Yes.
Careers look amazing on social media. Entrepreneurship, friendships. I used to get so jealous when I would see like full girl groups going on vacation together and stuff
you
like
had
that.
nobody?
And I'm like, I would
you
be
had
like,
nobody,
oh my
Miracle?
God. I got friends.
You
Don't
got
do
no
that.
friends?
I have amazing friends, yes. But I would be jealous of it because I don't know. It'll be like that one accord kind of thing where it's like I'm watching or I'm playing with my Bratz dolls again, and it's Chloe, Jade, Sasha, and Yasmin all together. If y'all know what I'm talking about, then. But the Bratz dolls, okay,
Yeah.
the 4 best friends.
Yeah.
That's kind of what all girls wanted growing up. So I'm seeing that like that again, that distorted view on social media. When in the back end, none of those girls really like each other, or none of those girls really know each other. And it's really just for the likes. It's for the views. It's for that distortion. It's to sell you that idea. It's to sell you that lifestyle. And yeah.
Yeah, you made me actually think about something. So that distorted view. If you all remember, do y'all remember that girl? She went to like Mexico with her friends, and she got into a fight with her friend, with like one of the girls. And
Yes.
then they came back to the U.S. and was like, yeah, we don't know what happened to her, but they found out that her neck got broke, and then
And
one of the
how'd that
guys
happen?
record exactly. She was with her friends, and that's that thing. You end up being around people that you basically are around people that you don't have anything in. You don't have any cohesion. I feel like you really have to be around people that fit your circle, fit your community that you're trying to be in. If you're trying to be a YouTuber, try to be around those people. Or if you don't want nobody to tell you the truth, be around people who are feeble-minded. Because I know Miracle knows best, and definitely all my friends, they know I'm definitely going to keep it 99 plus 10. So yeah.
Absolutely. And social media, something that really annoys me is social media really sets a lot of rules for behavior, like the way you're supposed to act in certain social instances. But and even though I do agree that there should be decorum when you're interacting with people, especially in public or in the public eye or with strangers or just in general with people, there definitely should be some social decorum that comes with that. But it feels like with social media, there's an added layer of making sure that you do not hurt anybody's feelings, or that you're making sure that you're not offending anybody, or that you really have to walk on eggshells to make sure that you are not honestly going to get canceled. You're not going to get canceled, or you're not going to get shunned by your friends. It's so troubling to know that you're not allowed to have an opposing opinion, and you are especially bold if you were to post that opposing opinion on social media.
I'm gonna give y'all an example. I am the example guy. So I remember, and I'm quite sure y'all do too, but when R. Kelly was going through his thing, everybody was, I'm just gonna be real. All of the black people was definitely on him. Oh, he's horrible. He's this. He's that. And I'm like, look, this man also needs help too. And then, once I posted it, I had a whole bunch of people to basically comment and, was like, hey, are you basically agreeing to the things that he done? I'm like, no, I'm saying that he's wrong, but don't think that, the way that he is, like, things had to happen in his life. And then, I end up digging like more into it. Like, he got actually raped when he was younger by a woman. And so, when he was 14, so like people think that, men don't have, like, I guess, traumatic things to happen to them, but they do. Well, everybody, not to exclude, but, just with that example, like, that stuff like that is definitely important to actually just, know, because we got all of these people are clan mentality, and they definitely sheep to me, you know, so.
Yes, like it definitely goes back to that distortion piece, because social media not only distorts your image of something, but it distorts the message of something too, especially because a lot, like I said, along with those rules for behavior, you have that distortion of the message piece along with that too. Sorry, there's a cat here. It's really cute.
Hey, little kitty. Everybody see? she decided to come on the Sonic.
But yes,
She wanted to be a part of the podcast.
and that's okay with me. So yeah, you have that mix of the rules of behavior with that distorted reality of the message, and you get people who will literally read an article title and not read the article. Will go off of, and it goes back to the example you were saying too of how you can explain a certain thing, right? But at the same time, people will pick and choose what things they want to listen to, and they'll basically say, okay, so what you're saying is, no, that's not what I said. I can repeat what I said, but you're literally not saying any of the words that I just said to you, okay? You're trying to distort my message because you're behind a screen, and it gives you a level of confidence. And that's where trolling comes in too, okay? And yeah.
And this where that I would say that saying that came out like a long time ago, meet me outside, because people had them Twitter fingers, and
Twitter fingers. Oh my gosh.
And people talk mad cash about stuff, or you like, oh yeah, I do this to you, and then you meet them in person, you're like, oh snap.
Yes, because people do not mean what they say behind screens. But we're gonna get a little bit into that after this break.
All right.
Okay, be right back. So growing up in the church, I loved all of my youth leaders and youth pastors growing up. I just did. And I think it was because they reached our level, and they tried to reach our level, and they weren't dismissing us because we were young, or dismissing our questions as like, oh, they're just, ignorant because they're kids or whatever. Mm-hmm. No, they would take the time to actually be direct with us about what things meant. They would take the time to answer the questions that we had, because as a kid, as a teenager, you have questions about the world, because new things are happening and you don't understand what all of it means, and so you do need that guidance. And so just being there as a listening ear, and also as that guide to really push forward the truth, and just continuing to instill that. I heard repetition is like really good for growing kids and growing teenagers, and I think that's really incredibly true, because a lot of things that I was taught during that time, they continuously instilled in us, in all the kids that were in Bible study at the time. That was my favorite part about going to church, actually, was going to Bible study, because I got to be with the youth leaders and everything. And so yeah, honestly, repetition, being direct, not being afraid to answer any questions that they have. Those are the things that I remember that they all did for us. And so I think that really helped with the foundation of my relationship with God that I have now. And we're back.
We back like we never left.
That's right, because we did not. We've been right here. Okay, just had to regroup right quick, right? So we just got off the topic of talking about trolling, right? What is trolling really?
Like for the algorithm.
Ooh.
Oh, make sure you guys like for the algorithm, okay?
Yes, like, comment, subscribe.
Make sure you do that.
Yeah.
Okay. I had to get that out because I did not think of that. Okay. Oh yes, and let's go through some comments really quick too. Let's do that.
Yeah, we can go through some more.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, Stanley likes trolling.
See.
He messy. When you
reap what you sow.
When you are from Mississippi, sometimes that's all that we can do. Sometimes is.
But trolling is cowardly.
Well, no, that's
yes,
that's what we call talking.
No, trolling is cowardly.
Hold on.
I mean, not if you getting fun out of it, because I'm not gonna lie.
How is that not cowardly?
I troll you all the time.
That's not even the same.
I troll.
I'm talking about in the context of social media.
I understand
that is trolling.
Too. I understand that too.
Making jokes to people that you know and trolling a random account, putting negative comments, and actually like really harmful comments on somebody's random video because you feel like it, that's trolling.
Okay, that is trolling, but I'm gonna say that
that's what we're talking about.
Yeah,
That's what we're talking about.
I know, but I think that we are getting trolled a lot to actually watch stuff. If you think about it,
Yes, we are.
You know,
good point.
Exactly. It's almost like a soundbite. Like, I love my Mississippi State Bulldogs, right? And
Okay.
they end up, somebody posted something like, we're going to go 3-10. And I'm like, and I had to come, I was like, yeah, you all are trash.
That's not
And
trolling. That's not trolling.
to me, it is.
No, that's not. Okay.
Okay, we got another copy.
Not to me.
Trolling is an art form, not many master, but too many attempt. Ooh.
What people you got on our
Yes,
podcast
that's my
today?
boy. That's my boy Dick Jefferson, right?
No. You know what? You're right. Trolling is an art form performed by 40-year-old men who live in the basements of their moms. Okay? That's what trolling
Wow.
is. Yes. Actually, we're going to get into kind of what that confidence behind the screen concept is with this second Black Mirror clip from Nosedive.
Okay.
Yes.
Lacey, got you a smoothie. Got one for everyone, actually. Still a bunch of them for grabs. They're from the organic stall at the farmer's market?
Sure. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're kinda not talking to Jess.
3.1? What happened?
Him and Gordon split up.
Poor Chess.
No. We're all on Gordon's side.
Sure. Obviously.
So Chess is kissing ass, trying to scrape himself back. Of course, if it drops below 2.5, then it's bye-bye.
It's messed up.
So I want to talk a little bit about, again, that confidence that people have behind the screen. It's kind of like a form of power. In general, people like power. Our flesh likes having that power in situations. We just do. And I think social media gives that to people, especially people like trolls, right? Or people who understand and know that your actions directly affect somebody else. Like in that clip there, that guy talking to the woman, Lacey, he understood that rating Chester, the guy that, or Chess, I think his name is Chess.
Yeah.
The guy that came around with the smoothies, he understood that rating him lower would get him to a lower rating and would also lead to even worse consequences for that guy. He liked the idea of having that power over him.
That's what we do.
But did you also notice that when after he did rate him and Chess turned around to go look, he hid.
I did not catch that. I'm not even gonna lie.
He hid.
I did not catch that.
He wanted to make that call, but he didn't want to own it. And that's what we do on social media. Think about it. That's why trolls exist. That's why you see all these private accounts, all these fake accounts who go around the internet wreaking havoc. Because they want that control, but they don't want to own it. They don't want anyone to know it's them because they understand the consequences. They know they can't fight in real life.
Exactly. Masculinity and femininity. We talked about it last time. So.
Yeah.
We got a
Ooh,
comment, and we
got a
have
comment.
a comment.
It's like cancel culture.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. It is.
And
Like,
to council culture, like that is to me the most lamest thing that I ever, it just does something to my spirit. You
it's
know
that
what I'm saying?
hive mind. I mean, think also about in that same clip, right, where she's commenting like, "Oh my God, 3.1. How did he get there?" And he's like, "Yeah, him and his partner broke up or whatever." And she's like, "Oh my God, poor Chess." And he's like, "No, we're on Gordon's side." She's like, "Oh yeah, obviously." Without understanding any context of what happened in the relationship, without even understanding how Chess is feeling about everything, she's going along with the hive mind mentality.
Yep.
Because that's the safest route for her.
Because
to gain that social acceptance.
Exactly, because nobody actually wants to go against the grain.
It's scary.
Yes.
You can get canceled.
Kanye West said this. He said, if you saw me on the side of the road on a highway and I'm running by myself, people are gonna be like, what is he doing? Is he crazy? But he said, if it's a group of people behind me, it's a marathon. Let that sink. Let that, simmer just like neck bone juice. Let that sink in your spirit.
Who eats neck bones?
Me, and I'm gonna have to put you on. Yeah, exactly.
Oh my goodness. You are absolutely right though, because I'm gonna be honest, like that actually reminds me of a time in Georgia State where we had Panther Proud. I hope I have some Georgia State people on, or I hope they hear this, but we had Panther Proud, which is basically like a dance that we had like was it once a month on a Friday or every other month on a Friday? It was something like that. It was basically a big giant party we would have at the rec center. Mm-hmm. Well, a fight broke out at one of the Panther Prowls, and there ended up being some sounds that sounded like gunshots. They ended up not being gunshots. They were like firecrackers or something. But I promise you, everybody ran out that rec center so fast from the rec center all the way down the street on Cortland Avenue. Is it Cortland Avenue? I forgot the street names. And they ran all the way down back to the dorms because they were that afraid. It was black people. We just kind of run. And when we see black people, we run as well.
She's a runner.
And
she's a track star.
And so as people are coming out the rec center running, you got random people on the street and they looking like, oh my God, I'm gonna run too.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening, but I'm gonna run too. And the hive, and think about it, if something really bad was actually going on, that actually would not be considered a bad thing in that context. So the hive mind is not actually a bad thing, but it can be used and weaponized and manipulated to be something very negative. In this case, with cancel culture, I think it is very harmful. And we've already seen the effects of that. Cancel culture is unforgiving, unyielding. No one cares about you anymore, basically.
And it kind of infringes on your basically your rights or whatever. Like you can't even say anything about certain groups.
You can't say anything about anybody that is considered marginalized, right? You can't have a differing opinion. You can't have an opinion that differs from what the majority believe. And if you do, then you're immediately canceled. You're immediately maybe far left or far right or whatever. They put you in these boxes. The boxes we've actually fought to get out of, which is so ironic when you think about it.
And we're climbing right back in.
We're climbing right back into what is classism.
It's true.
Racism, classism, they all coincide with each other. They do.
Yeah.
They do, because at some point it all goes back to, again, economics, and that where the money goes, that's where the power goes. And the power right now is in the hands of the people, and the people are not realizing they're being controlled by other aspects. And so social media
you cooking over there.
Social media is a huge work in that process. And everyone knows it, including the higher ups, including the government. That's why they use it. They use it because they know how it works. That's why they are partnering with these social media companies, and they're partnering with these psychologists and these psychiatrists who have been studying these things for years and understand how the algorithm works and how people respond to it. And so it's kind of scary.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah. But, we have our high highs and our low lows.
Yes.
Right? So we're actually going to look at a few more comments right now, I kind of want to see what you guys been talking about. Okay.
So what folks like me that don't hide behind the fakeness and still are raw and uncut.
Hey.
Yeah. Me and you are definitely one and the same. I will say, just in this context, a lot of people won't know who's real or who's fake, basically. But I take out my hand to people who really say what they want because it could affect your job. And of course, like, I'm not gonna lie, I even hold back certain things to say because I'm like, hey, I think there is power in holding your tongue.
Absolutely.
And know when to do things and when not to do things.
Discernment and
Yes.
wisdom
We
are
need
important.
that, Richard. We need that, Richard.
Discernment and wisdom are very important. I'm not saying you should at all say what is strictly, directly, bluntly on your mind at all times. No. There should be a level of filtering that goes in it because there is a time and a place for everything that you do and say. Okay, so use some discernment and wisdom, and understand that your words do hold weight. They do have a power. The word talks about that too. Life and death are in the power of the tongue, and we understand that immensely, especially in today's age where all we do is use words. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Sometimes words that we don't even know what it means. It's just a buzzword.
Oh my God.
And then it just trickles.
what are some buzzwords you hate? Like, I hate the word toxic now.
Oh yeah.
Hate that word.
It's another one. Narcissistic.
Oh, I was just gonna
everybody
say that.
thinks everybody narcissistic. No, it's not.
I was just gonna say that. Please stop calling
People ain't even graduated high
narcissists.
school talking about.
Yeah. Oh, he's a narcissist. She's a narcissist. Do y'all even know really what that is? Have these people been diagnosed with narcissism, or are you just using a buzzword you heard your older brother or older sister say to their friend on Twitter one day when talking about their ex-boyfriend?
It's because we're being influenced, and we don't even know that we're being influenced. Like, I went against the grain when Derek Jackson came out. Everybody was like, "Oh, he's so this." I was like, "That man playing on y'all feelings so he can sell
You
these
mean when
books."
he first came? Derek Jackson is a relationship coach, by the way.
Yeah. Just in case y'all didn't know, I'm quite sure people know who Derek Jackson is now because he's all over. He is all over.
He's
the
still
place.
out there. People, I mean, just like anything, you're always gonna have a support for that thing. Unfortunately,
Exactly. I was like, man,
even if it's the worst thing possible, it could be for straight up murdering babies. You're gonna have some kind of support for that.
exactly. But because hey, let's be real. Social media is the word social to mean it. Hey, image matters. So he's a nice looking man, and everybody wanted to. Oh, this man gets it. He gets it. And then you're like, no. I was like, this too good to be true. I was sitting back like, yep, all of y'all stupid. So
You stop trolling. You can't do that. You can't be awesome.
I am a maverick, so
Oh my goodness. Yes, so we're actually going to we're gonna actually look at another comment.
See, he's trolling right now.
Is Georgia State
in
in
the
the-
SWAC because the SEC is all that matters? See,
You talking to the wrong person because I don't care. That's so bad.
Georgia State is not in the SWAC though, but they should be.
Is that bad? Like, is that?
I mean, it's not bad because the SWAC is HBCU, and like what he's saying is your school is trash in football.
it is.
Yeah,
I'm
see,
sorry.
yeah,
I
see.
can't.
See,
You know what? I'm not sorry.
This is what we need. She is honest about it,
But
and
it's not as I heard it's not as trash as it was in the beginning. I think our football program was still pretty new when I was in college. Oh my gosh, when I was in college,
But y'all
that's
did
crazy.
win some, y'all did win.
I don't think we ever won a homecoming game though. Not that I remember. But then again, I never actually went into the stadium to watch
Really?
the game. Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, we could go to some games this year though.
I feel like that's not a troll comment though. I'm gonna just say that. Look, Miracle, you two look great together.
Oh, appreciate it.
Thank you. Oh, thank you so much.
Yes.
That was Kenya's mom. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hey, I choose pretty good. Yeah.
He chose very well. Chose very well. But yes. So
Why are neurosciences are warning you to delete your social media?
yes. Why is that? Why do you think they're warning us to actually delete our social media? It's because it's literally changing the way we think about things, right? Think about all this anxiety and depression that we have these days when it comes to just living our lives. We have all that because of the constant comparison and that distortion of how we view another person's life versus our own. We're not good enough for ourselves anymore.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm sitting here just, thinking about it's so many things that's going through my head on like why that they are telling us this. So that means that we will never be content with, the things that we got. We will always look for that next hit, that next thing that better looking person, that, person that make me feel magical on the inside.
Yes.
And, okay, I want better friends. I want richer friends. I want friends who are earthy or conscious or, just whatever. So yeah, I definitely know that just right now where we are going, it may not be a really good place. So
I agree. In fact, I want to bring up the scripture because I think it'll bring a lot of context to this particular issue. A lot of people, who don't understand the word, they say the Bible is old and it's not,
it's outdated.
It's outdated. It's old. It has no context with what we're going on today. Well, it's called the living word because it is everlasting, and it is the thing that will answer any question we have at any point in time, even right now. And it answers the question of how we should handle social media, right? So I want to look at Philippians 4:8, if we can. Okay, great. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Quality. Amen.
If that's not conscious, that right there is a mantra for the country's outlet.
It is. It really is. I mean, think about it. Applying this wisdom, we can consciously choose what we consume online, right?
Right.
We can prioritize content that aligns with these positive attributes. And this practice can really help us guard against the negative impact of social media on our thought patterns.
Yeah. It's almost like, hey, just like even these glasses. I don't know if y'all ever watched The Matrix, but I wore this, for I think his name was Morpheus. He was like, hey, you either got the red pill or you got the blue pill.
Yep.
The red pill signified you actually choosing truth and everything, and then the blue pill is like, hey, you can either continue to live in a lie. And so
Yes.
I think that it's easier to live in a lie because I always say this: people would rather be clothed with a lie, but rather than having the naked truth, because it actually hurts, and it is like a double-edged sword. But if you're one of those people who actually values truth, and that's something that I do, and even my friends around me, whether I want to hear it or not, it's important to your growth. It's actually important to how you are as a person, and because someone is looking at us to get inspiration. So, because a lot of times people may not see God, but you may be that only version of God that that person sees. And so I know that that's important. Just overall, like we have to make our mark on the world when it comes to social media. So nobody is saying like, hey, you got to be this perfect person, but you have to be understanding and cognizant of what you're putting out and also what you're receiving. So just us even receiving all of this information at a alarming rate, it does affect us whether we want to agree to it or not. Like I was telling Miracle, I was like, man, I did a lot of things for attention. Like she was like, you like attention? I was like, no, I don't. I was like, hey, if I get it, I get it. But at the same time, but at the same time, it's something that I had to come in terms with. So I say for the past 6 months, I haven't been posting me. I just been posting things that I'm doing, stuff that doesn't have like my face on it and stuff like that.
Faceless.
Exactly. So I think that it definitely will help out just even taking a break and focusing on your family, focus on development and the future. So that's my little tidbit.
Yes, for me, social media is a huge distraction. Like it is definitely a way I get that short-term dopamine effect. And because I know this, and because social media is also a part of the way I spread this message and spread the gospel, I'm working now on just trying to post what can edify that, right? And then dipping out. That's what I'm trying to do now. Because truthfully, like I said, there's no long-term happiness with keeping social media in the picture. And because everyone is now consuming so much content, I'm hoping within that, the message here can reach them too, right? And, let's remember the power of digital detoxes, right? Taking regular breaks, like you were saying, It can really refresh our minds and allow us to engage more meaningfully in the present moment that we're in now. And I think as like content creators like you and I, we can really play a role in that just by fostering genuine connections like we're trying to do here and sharing messages that really uplift and inspire and striking that balance, between approaching social media with, like I said, a discerning eye and using wisdom to help you along that path, right? If you've been doing it, if you've been making social media your idol, it's time to get back to it, okay? So, yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to make a conscious community. So, so we can actually help people, because a lot of times, you even see even some of the, most rich, superstars or even TikTok influencers who making money, and then you realize like how or why did they kill themselves? They had everything. They was making $50,000 a month. Why did they off themselves?
Exactly.
If you got the perfect lives. So it has to be something else that's actually affecting people. Like we got to have some type of foundation,
Yes.
As y'all see, I'm real passionate about that, bucking on my eyes.
We also want to look at a few more comments. I just sent a few to our amazing producers.
Amazing. And don't forget to like and comment, subscribe.
Please, like for the algorithm.
Like for the algorithm.
Okay. Younger girls who use social media a lot have higher rates of depression. That is true. That is very true. I think it's especially true for younger women because in that age, we're going through a lot of changes with our bodies. We're quickly going from little girls to women, and it's a lot of changes and stressors and emotions packed in that because we have to shift the way we see ourselves mixed with the way the world sees us. And so it's kind of like social media on top of that, it does not make for a good mix for younger girls.
Whenever I have a daughter and if she on social media too much, I'm snatch her knot and make changes.
I don't want her on social media like at all, to be honest. We don't at all. So, yes.
Hey, my little sister. Oh,
that's my sister-in-law right there.
Exactly. Hopefully she can definitely get something from this, because, when I log on to her, social media, she have about 17,000 Instagram posts on her stuff. I'm like,
why are you calling her out like that?
She know I love her,
My goodness.
It's a Capricorn thing. Is that a Capricorn thing?
Anyway, with
y'all
that.
Y'all stay in y'all feelings.
Lord. Finger snaps for Philippians 4 and 8. I agree. Yes. Oh, from my mom. Pride of life, lust of the eye, lust of the flesh.
Yes. We definitely have to be really, really in tune because that pride of life and then the lust of the eyes. So the eyes is the lamp to the soul. So we're constantly feeding things. And all of this actually ties into, like the word, it ties into our, topic for today, because like we see so much, and then we're like, okay, I want the car, I want the house, I want the beautiful,
my God.
family, perfect looking family. And then on the, outside, everyone is like, oh, you got this great relationship. But no, we, sometimes we fight like cats and dogs or something. And
telling you.
people don't know. And then they want what they think what it is. It's like, I mean, it's been people like, oh yeah, I think you this awesome guy. You just seem so nice. I'm like, nah, I'm really not nice. I look nice, but I'm kind of mean. I hurt your feelings.
No, he won't. He's very sweet. Very sweet. Any other comments? Oh, thank you, Dad. This is a great topic.
Yes.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah, I
That's
can't.
so sweet.
Yeah, Pops. I actually came
See?
up with it. I'm pretty awesome. So.
That's her again. That's your sister again. She said, "Why you calling me out like that?"
Exactly.
Like, don't do her. Okay. Thank you, Kenya. Me and Kenya be on the same page now.
Oh my gosh.
We do.
I'm not finna play with y'all.
We do.
Y'all barely go to the gym, but I mean that's a
We literally go every week. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know why he said that.
Once
we go
a
every
week.
week.
Once a week.
Once or twice, yes. And then we do Pilates together. Don't try it. I don't have to explain myself to you. I don't have to.
Why why is your veins popping out?
Were those all the comments? Okay, cool. So yes. I think we're coming to a close on this topic. I think we covered a lot of ground today.
I think we did.
I'm very excited. We're going to be continuing this, okay?
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about other micro trends on upcoming episodes, so please do not miss out on that, all right? We're going to get into the weeds of some stuff. I don't know what the next micro trend topic is going to be. Alan has to give that to me so I can know. But after that, we're going to be planning out some stuff, and it's going to be a fun little ride, okay?
Exactly.
It is. So, do you guys see social media as a huge influence right now? If so, what are some ways that you do digital detoxes, right?
I guess, how I do it is, you're just going to have to delete the app off your phone. I think Instagram is like one of my most, I would say kryptonites or whatever. And so I just say you got to delete it, because if you say, oh yeah, I'm just not going to go on it, you're going to find yourself just clicking on it, because I have. Whatever.
Yeah, honestly same.
So what about you? What's actually one thing that you would say, or, I guess a thing that you have done, because you have done it before, so. Yeah,
I delete the app, I lock it, I do a lot of things. And I also consciously find myself just clicking the app too.
So mostly, do you read, is it something that you read like just like a book, just to make sure that you're
To be honest, I did try reading books to stop myself from going on Instagram or on any social media platform. It was mainly like Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, right? Stop getting on Twitter. It got me way too upset. And then Instagram, I don't really scroll. I just look at stories. And then with YouTube, I'm on YouTube. That's my app right there. YouTube is my app. I find myself, the book reading thing does not help me get off those apps. But the only book that literally has helped me get off is reading the Bible. I kid you not. I start reading the Bible and I no longer feel that urge to get on social media, at least for that moment. I have to keep reading. It's kind of like fasting. You know how when you're hungry, you have to fill yourself with the word.
Exactly.
That's the same thing when I do digital detoxes. It's like I'm fasting from it. And so that's what I usually do to help myself with that. But yeah, any final thoughts so we can close this thing out?
I would definitely just say you as a person who is very practical, you just need to build a community of, brothers, a community of, sisters, someone that will definitely stay on top of you and be like, hey, no, you don't need to do that. Hey, you need to go running. You need to exercise, to basically get to a point to where you're not even thinking about it. Because just think about it. If we have to wean ourselves off of it, that we really got a problem,
Yeah, I completely agree.
And make sure that you can actually send your questions or, or concerns out to our Gmail at theconsciousoutlet.com. So
No, the conscious outlet at gmail.com.
At Gmail.
Okay. Okay, use the email in the description. It's business@wartowncreative.com. It'll go right to us. Okay.
Right to us.
Yep. It's in the description if you
Check
guys
it out.
want to look at it. Send any questions you guys have, concerns, whatever, or some fan mail. We like to hear from you guys. So,
Yeah, and-
even off the show, we love live comments. but
Exactly,
off the
and
show,
make
too.
sure y'all post it on your Instagram story. I mean, we trying to go global with this. You know, I got a really, really big, mindset when it comes to this. This been in the working for years, but it took God having to bless me with a great partner. So
Right. So until next time, keep growing, keep questioning, and keep seeking wisdom to navigate this dynamic world that we live in. All right. We'll see you
All
next
right.
time.
I am just so grateful for the grind. Even all the bad that almost